Thank you for joining the Fans Edge Sports Talk podcast, hosted by your boy 216 Mike and your boy EG Laflare. Also produced by Walt K Disney. This is a sports show with a college football focus that allows fans the opportunity to join the discussion.
So what we want y'all to do right now is to subscribe to our channels. We're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. We stream live every Sunday night, and the shows will be available on all streaming podcast platforms every Monday morning. What's good, my peeps?
What's good?
Chilling.
Hey,
Another good weekend.
all I gotta say is my team is 2-0. How about y'all team?
Hey, 2-0. Hey, what's the best thing about going 2-0? Chance to go 3-0. You know?
Absolutely.
Right. Well, we got a lot of topics to cover today, so let's get right in it. So I don't know if y'all have seen or had the chance to watch the fight last night, but it was a clash of the running backs. Levon Bell knocked out Adrian Peterson with a hard right in the fifth round. It looks like Adrian got hit with that stunner. So I wasn't in the mood for pay-per-view, but did you guys get to see the fight at all?
I didn't see the fight, but obviously I saw that highlight.
Right. I didn't see the fight either.
Yeah, but that highlight was crazy, man. I mean, I don't know what Adrian Peterson was doing. You protect yourself at all times. You're not supposed to have your hands down the way he did.
Hey, man.
No protection at all. And Le'Veon set him up with the boot. Bam.
Hey, if you ask me, the guys, they looked exhausted out there, man. I don't know, like AP,
Le'Veon was fine.
Yeah, AP eyes were starting to get bucked. It's like it was about to go down, man. He was about to go down.
The ref called it. He said, "No, I'm good.
I'm good."
But yeah, I was telling one of my friends. I said, "Well, what a lot of people don't realize is when Le'Veon, before he went into the league, he was a big bruising type back. He had slimmed down and became this, athletic, jilty guy and stuff like that. Like he worked really hard at that. So the fact that when you're fighting and you fight at a certain weight, but sometimes you could be fighting 20 pounds over that by the time the fight comes. So
I'm very surprised it went 5 rounds. So hey, but good for them.
Hey man, yeah. Hey, Le'Veon just said, "Hey, I'm tired of it, man. I gave y'all a show. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home, eat me some chicken wings, go to the
club." Cash that check. And following the big news, Scott Frost has been let go from Nebraska Cornhuskers. They fired their football coach, Scott Frost, after starting the season with a 1-2. This is it hasn't even been 24 hours since the loss against Georgia Southern yesterday, which they lost. It was 45-42. And the team that was supposed to be a 3-touchdown favorite, and they definitely were struggling yesterday.
Man, last week we talked about it on the show, man. His job was on the line, man. We said it last week. We just didn't expect it to happen this fast.
Right.
But man, like Mike said, man, it costed them, firing them this fast. But when it's bad for your program, you make it happen quick. I remember when we had to do Chad Morris like that, we had to get him out there, even though we had to pay him a lot of money for doing it. We had to get Chad Morris out of there. And same situation with Nebraska. They had to get him out of there, man.
But at least Chad Morris made it to conference play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I kind of feel bad for Scott Frost because it's like, man, if I didn't play week 0 and got an extra week and play week 1, he didn't even make it to week 3.
Ooh.
And I'll say this, man, because this is the thing. And it's like, I feel like it's not a smart business decision because I think if they waited till October, the buyout would have been a little bit less as well. They could have saved on millions, which could have went to the next head coach. But, hey, if the boosters of Nebraska still got it like that, they got it like that. But also, what you just told every player on that roster is the season is over. It's done, all of that. You never know if Scott Frost could have turned that team around, and then they could have been a 6-6 team. It's still a bowl eligible team. You know what I'm saying? So, because they got a big game, a big matchup coming up, You fire him before the OU game. That's a big rivalry game, and you're going in there without a head coach. Like you just laying down on your sword. And here's another kicker: all of those players, they have a decision this week to make. Do I play this game, or do I sit out and save my eligibility and red shirt and hit the transfer portal? Because that's what I would do. Because the athletic director didn't believe in me to finish the season out. The chancellors and everybody, nobody believed in us. So why am I playing for y'all? For what?
Yeah,
And
that's
it's not pay for play. So yeah, you gave me NIL. I could run up on the bag like Miles Brennan.
man,
Yep.
tough situation for those kids, man. It's
If
just
I'm Dakotas, I'm leaving.
the coldest.
Yeah, Dakotas, bro.
Yeah.
They wide receiver.
Yeah,
Like what a lot of people aren't even taking into account is Scott Frost got guys injured that he was counting on playing. That he
yeah,
game planned for to play.
yeah,
You know? And that's why I just did. I mean, I understand why you do things early because you start scouting your other talent for coaches and all of that. And you want to be the first guy. You want to be the first one to call their agent and start building that relationship. But again, just remember, it's never about the players.
Mm-mm.
That's the lesson learned. Never about the players. They always get screwed in the end.
Yep. And we definitely about to see this next week. How early is too early, for sure. As for some news, we got the release of the AP Top 25. Georgia jumps Bama to take the number one spot on the poll. And it looks like Tennessee also, I'm going to give a shout out to Tennessee. We break the rankings as well, going to 2-0 this week. And the Razorbacks break the top 10 going 2-0 as well.
Woo!
EG, I know you got some comments for Georgia as well as Arkansas.
Hey man, first off, I want to say, if you ask me, Georgia is the best team in the country right now. They've only given up 3 points in these 2 weeks, and they just look dominant. I mean, their defense looked great. Their offense looks better than it did last year. So they're a more balanced team right now. It's scary, man. If you ask me, they're the best team, like I said. And you see them Razorbacks, man. They're taking us serious now. Top 10 team right now. I feel like we can take on anybody. We got Alabama at home this season. I feel like they better watch out. They better watch out for those Razorbacks because we coming. KJ Jefferson looks more comfortable than ever now. I mean, he looks great in the pocket. We got a run game. We got Dominic Johnson, who was our starter last season, coming back. He's gonna finally start getting carries around that Alabama game. So we got two major running backs, man. And I just feel like I like the direction of this team. Our coach, Coach Odom, he's changing up defenses. He's changing up schemes. That's something he didn't do last season. So it's looking great. We're going from the 3-man front to the 4-man front. We're switching up all type of things, man. And it's just a great year for us. I feel like we can do some things in the SEC. I feel like we can get 10 wins. Go Hogs.
I know at the beginning of the season, the Hogs was talking about a 10-win season, and a lot of people were like, I don't know about that. But
Right.
after these past couple of games now, you can't
It look,
deny it.
yeah, it
Yep.
looks a little bit more believable. Yeah, man. The AP, y'all know how I feel about the AP, man. I mean, obviously it's a talking point. These rankings don't matter really. That's all it is something to sell, something to talk. These rankings have nothing to do with the college football playoffs. It's still early. We're still learning about teams. As we saw, the AP got it wrong. Notre Dame was not a top 5 team. You know what I'm saying? Some of these other teams that they had ranked high were not those teams. So as we continue to go, as we continue to build, we keep learning from the data points. The one thing that I will say about the AP poll that I completely disagree with is how do you have teams that are 2-0, right? Below teams that are 1-1. Texas was also not ranked, right?
Yeah.
But they're in the top 25. And I would say maybe they win that game. I mean, I guess it's a segue into that. But maybe they win that game if their starting quarterback was in, right? But now they don't have their starting quarterback going forward. So you need to see what this team is before you just throw them in the rankings, right? Like this, it just makes no sense. And then if they were that good of a showing, right? That good of a showing to put them in, then shouldn't Bama drop a little bit more by only having a 1 point lead? Because a lot of them voted them number one, and they didn't look like a number one team. I mean, I would say, just to play devil's advocate, maybe number two, at least in their unranked matchup, uh, they at least had a double digit win. Like it's just no consistency in this poll. I mean, sometimes you could say that about the college football playoff poll as well.
Well,
Right.
that's definitely a great segue into Bama's narrowing win. They narrow escape from Texas. So it looks like Bryce Young, he was pretty solid this game,
Yeah,
27
it was
for 39.
2019, 20 to
Oh,
19.
2019. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because they
Tw-
only squeaked by at 1 point.
Yeah, it was, man.
2019.
Yeah,
And just
don't have Bama fans out here hyped up about
that's
it.
You know
but
they'll
my
definitely
thing
take that. You
my,
know they'll definitely.
my thing is, man, Alabama offense doesn't have an identity right now. They started that game early, man, and it's like I saw a guy break. He broke what 70, 80 yards. He was gone, and no, for the rest of the game, they didn't really rush the ball as consistently as I thought they could. They didn't run the ball a lot, and Texas was D'ing those wide receivers up. I mean, it was a tough game, and Bryce Young, man, he's just the best decision maker in the country. He came down on that last drive, meaning business, and got it done. But like I said, man, Alabama didn't look well, man. They're not running consistently. They don't have wide receivers, man, and they deserve to drop a little bit. I don't know if Ohio State is quite. I don't know if I want to put Ohio State quite in front of them right now, but them dropping to two was legit in my eyes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, for sure. And in that Bama game, man, one thing that was a concern week one was Bama's offensive line. And when you're not able to get certain type of push, or you have a group of five school like Utah State chasing your quarterback around, and yes, it was an inferior opponent. He was able to escape some of that. But then you get to a power five team and you can't escape some of that. And I want to say, NCAA refs, you left some points on the field that should have went to Texas because that was a safety. Bryce Young was down. Anything above the ankle is down. That's a
Right.
safety. It should be really 21-20 Texas won.
That
But also, man, I hope Quinn Ewers, they're saying that he probably won't be back to like October or
Hmm.
something like that. He's going to be out like 5 to 8 weeks or something. It could be. I want to lift him up in prayers, man, because I mean the performance that he put on uh, against Bama was amazing, and I think us as college football fans were robbed because this was the time that we would have been able to see this guy who has been labeled the generational quarterback and see what his talents could have really begun. Now I feel like we might not even truly know if he comes back because who's to say he's gonna come back 1000% healthy, but then also might have a little PTSD from getting, having to stand in the pocket and take that type of hit.
yeah. Man, I sure wanted to see him finish that game, man. I remember back when Texas and Alabama played in that championship game and Colt McCoy got hurt and they held on to that Colt McCoy situation. What if Colt never got hurt? They held on to that situation for a long time. And the same thing here. If the guy never got hurt, who knows what would have happened, man. But
Exactly. But yeah, you
I
can't
wanted to see
give
him.
Bryce that much time because we just
Right.
saw it. We definitely saw it in what was that, the Auburn game? You
Yeah.
cannot give that man no time, not even 10 seconds. I don't know
Right.
why, but
You
dude's
gotta
Houdini.
look. You definitely gotta do it.
Hey, he'll
Um,
make that 10 seconds seem like it's 60 seconds.
Right.
and also with Bama, they had 15 penalties, which is the most under Saban during this game. And I know
Ooh.
he was pissed after the game on that. So I definitely know they're gonna be working hard. And then at the presser after the game, he said that people underestimated Texas. He said they're playing like they feel like they're playing an SEC game on the road. He said if they were in the SEC right now, they'll probably be in the top half of the league. So we'll see when Texas actually joins. So
I, which year was the rebuilding year, Saban? Why is your O-line still looking? It looks worse than what it did last year. I mean, which year is the rebuilding year, Saban? Why do these excuses? I didn't never known Nick Saban to bring these excuses and start saying, "Oh yeah, this team was the better. They were better than what we thought." What? Saban.
Yeah.
Is it me or is he a little bit more mouthy this season? I feel like
Hey,
I don't know.
he's talking, man.
I tell you this, and the guy in the media that's the most closest to him, who hangs out at his house and all that, Paul Feinbaum called Nick Saban out and said, when things go wrong, Nick Saban started making excuses.
He definitely had a couple of those during his presser after this last game about
I'll
what
tell you
happens.
what, I hate to be a player on Alabama team during practice this week.
Oh God, boy.
Woo.
They probably running that stadium as we speak.
As we speak.
As soon as they got off the plane, bro. As soon as they got off.
You're not going to sleep, buddy.
Keeping it in the SEC, we had Kentucky taking on Florida at Florida. Kentucky walks away with the W. What happened to Florida? When are we going to actually see Anthony Richardson produce? Will it be this season? Will it be next season? Like, what's going on with him?
We seen
Mike?
contain. We seen contain. A defensive coordinator knew how to contain. And then we also saw, like what I told you guys. I needed to see Anthony Richardson progress as a passer. The dink and dunk stuff only works for so long, and guess what? He tried to do the little dink and dunk short pass, pick six to the house, baby. You know what I'm saying? So this is exactly what I was telling Florida fans. When you get the matchup of talent, you know, some guys with some actual speed, you know, not corn-fed, but actual speed, it's gonna be a different game, and that's what you saw. Now you seeing guys talking about Billy Napier. Florida fans thought Billy Napier ain't that guy. I mean, come on, you guys are just saying he was that guy last week. Now you
last
guys
week?
are turning. Yeah, everything was all good just a week ago.
About a week ago.
Florida just, man, they did not look good. Anthony Richardson, man, what they need to do is stop pumping these guys up so fast. You know, he had a great first week. I give him that, but they're already talking about, oh, NFL talent. He's physically the most talented quarterback in the country. He's this, he's that, he's this. These guys play a Kentucky team, and the guy looks like
Cam Newton.
Right. They said he was a part of Cam Newton and Dak Prescott mixed together, actually. And I'm like, you know, slow it down. You know, if you ask me, man, I can't even see him being a first round QB right now. Just after seeing that game, I'm not gonna write him off, but just after that game, I don't see first round. I think the guy got a lot of work to do, man. He didn't throw a touchdown that game. He was throwing interceptions. He looked very inaccurate. I mean, he was throwing passes behind receivers, you know, over their heads. It's just like, man, what is going on? I thought this guy was big time. I'm gonna retract from my statements, calling him big time, and just say he have to show me something.
Drizzy Diz said Richardson was trash.
Yeah, he was.
Yep. It was 14 for 35, 143 yards, 2 interceptions. 13 of Kentucky's points came from those interceptions as well.
I saw a defensive end picked him off.
That's crazy.
He was like a defensive end or outside linebacker. Outside linebacker. Yeah. Man, the guy was rushing him, and he picked it off while he was pass rushing. That's different. That's different.
Kentucky definitely shut out Florida in the second half. University of Kentucky defense gave up 91 yards to Florida. So Kentucky defense did come to play. So you can definitely say that.
Hey, Kentucky is a tough game, man, for anybody. I know y'all Tennessee fans need to watch out.
I got a quick question for you guys. Who's the best team in Florida right now?
Ah, good question. Good question. Who's the best
I,
team in Florida?
I,
Ah,
I wanted to go with Miami, but I might have to say Florida State right now. Maybe.
that
Ooh, that's the
Florida
debate right
State.
now.
I'm gonna
May.
continue. I'm gonna say Florida is the best team in Florida right now. You know, Miami still has a lot of proving to me. I want to see Miami play a good opponent because we've seen these teams change after they play good teams. Florida looked great against Utah. Come out against Kentucky, a whole different team. So I would give it to Florida right now. I want to see Miami play somebody like Clemson right now. So I want to NC State. I want to see those matchups first before I say that Miami's the best team in Florida.
Well, I'm gonna go with Florida State because they beat an SEC caliber team, and it looked like Mark Narvell got them boys humming. So
Hey, Drizzy Dez, you better watch out. Florida
He
State,
said,
they coming for you.
"Girl, please, Florida State."
They
hey,
coming
hey,
for you. Watch out.
it is some
I
fine
put my
women in
money on them.
Florida State. Hey,
Hey,
And moving on to the pack for this Pac-12, we got USC shows the dominance in the Pac-12, 41-28 to Stanford. Caleb Williams threw 20 to 27, completed 20 of his throws for 341 yards. I see that chemistry between him and Lincoln Riley. I know that USC's off O line definitely has some work to do, but Lincoln Riley, I think he's proven that he is Pac-12 material.
hmm, yeah. I guess I'll start that off, man. Hey, Lincoln Riley got that offense looking great. Hey, it looks just like when he had Oklahoma offense looking great. It's the same system. I'm seeing the guys going on verts a lot. I'm just seeing so many guys just wide open when they catch the ball. That's how you know your system is thriving. I mean, Jordan Addison, he's had multiple two touchdown games so far already, man. He's just the man is always open. And I remember speaking earlier, people were asleep on USC wide receiver room. I think everyone is waking up, man. That's a great wide receiver group, man. That offense is humming, man. They're looking great. And Caleb Williams, like I said, I've heard from a friend of mine who said he thinks Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than CJ Stroud. And right now he's just thriving,
why you
man.
keep repeating stuff?
Hey,
Not
Like,
I'm just
too
stop
saying.
lying
much.
and throw shots,
I just
bro.
want to bring that up,
Throw
man.
your shots, bro. This is
Until
hilarious.
Stroud show me he's big time, he can make all those decisions, make all those throws. I'm gonna bring it up.
This is
And
what I say.
Caleb Williams had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 20 for 27. This is an all around great game, even though it was against Stanford. Hey, it was a good game, man. What you got
I
to say,
I
Mike?
I,
What is
I
it?
want to see. I mean, obviously, the offense or wide receivers or anything has always looked good under Lincoln Riley's offense. I don't think that
Of course.
anybody was ever um, doubting the offense. I think the biggest thing is um, has Lincoln Riley put together a complete team, and I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see that from the defense. I don't think that Stanford is one of those top teams that should have been able to put 28 up on them. So if they get up against a better team, do they still look like the old Lincoln Riley OU offense? And what I'm looking for Lincoln Riley, you're going here. You're supposed to be, you're saying you went here because you have better resources and things like that. Have you took the next step, Lincoln Riley? That's what I'm still looking for. On the Caleb Williams situation, I would like to see like the passing chart where he's throwing the ball. Are they actually NFL throws, or is it his playmakers and he's just being a game time manager? I do know he is able to extend drives with his legs is always a key in college football, and also his ability to run. When you have the QB run element, it's almost having like extra offensive weapon that's unaccounted for, because you can have a lead blocker, or all he has to do is make one guy miss in the secondary sometimes. So
Hey, here's a stat for you right now. In the AP poll, Oklahoma is 6, USC is 7. Lincoln Riley, hey, his teams are right there.
I already said my thoughts on A people. They've already shown fraudulent, so it doesn't matter.
Right, right,
It's
right.
fraudulent already. Notre Dame had to
Enjoy the
survive.
moment.
Notre
Enjoy the
Dame at
moment of
number
being
5,
ranked.
fraudulent.
Enjoy
It's
the
a,
moment.
you're right. A lot of people did enjoy their moment preseason, and now they crying. Talking
Oh
about
yeah.
2023 already. Malik
I'm
Zaire,
glad.
shout out to you.
I'm
For real,
glad
Malik
Tennessee's not one
Zaire.
of them. Okay. Also, even though Stanford did get beat, I did see some potential from EJ Smith. His first carry was for 87 yards and a touchdown. So that's Emmett Smith's son, right?
Right.
I believe so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I feel like he's about to be a force to reckon with. So I'm really looking for his potential this upcoming season for sure.
And you said his
Uh,
first run was for how long?
First carry for 87 yards, touchdown.
That's amazing because he only finished with 88 yards.
Hmm.
What happened? He had one run for 87. He finished with 88. Goodness,
Yes. So
And
so he
Lincoln
had
Riley has never been known for trench play.
most definitely.
Because think about
and
this. I will say this. Think about this. Um, he took over for Bob Stoops. They had, like, in his first couple years, they had a running game, but slowly the running game started to decline.
It's clear he wanted to pass the ball. Like that's his system. He loves to pass the ball, man, and he loves to have multiple receivers. And it looks like they run four verticals a lot. That's just his system, you know.
we'll see if they can produce. We definitely will. And it looks like Virginia Tech took care of business when it came to playing against Boston College, 27-10. And it looks like Virginia Tech. I mean, they made their ACC debut at home. It's a nice little win. Trying to, I mean, I'm not a really big Virginia Tech fan, so but I know we got some Hokie fans out there. But it says it's a after. It was a very. It looked like a very interesting night for Boston College defense, or I'm sorry, offense. So it looks like they definitely have some room for improvement on Boston College there.
Yeah, Boston College I mean, they have a defensive coach as their head coach, and then it just seems like they can't get anything, no continuity on the offense at all, man. Jeff Halfley is right now just fumbling the bag, but then this is also, while, like, I believe Urban when he said, a lot of people jump to these jobs and these head coaching jobs and stuff like that because of this of the title, the status, the money as well. But when you're taking a job, there's things that you need to think about. You need to think about the resources that the program provides. You need to understand how, if the boosters and everybody is behind the program to help build. And then you also have to understand, can you recruit there? And I don't think Boston College is one of those top recruiting destinations for a lot of people. So,
Mm. One thing I will say about this game, I didn't watch too much of it, but I know that Boston College had four rushing yards, and they had a total of 155 yards, and Virginia Tech had a total of 280 yards. I mean, that was a kind of a it's kind of a bad game amongst college football. We know college football is known for offense right now, and that was just that was a bad game. It had to be tough watching that game.
there's going to be a lot of bad games in the first few weeks, but because that's the one thing about college. Every game matters because you do not get a preseason. So you have to
Absolutely,
come out humming. And the only
absolutely.
team that we have seen coming out humming, hitting on all cylinders, has been Georgia. So
Georgia.
Yep. And hopefully they stay solid this season.
into the
Coming up for
playoffs.
until Mike said not too much, not too
Mm.
much. We got the week 3 previews. First we got BYU taking on Oregon this Saturday, 2:30. The kickoff is on Fox. It looks like the over under is 49.5 with Oregon at 6.5. So BYU is supposedly the underdog, which they just upset the defending Big 12 champs Baylor in double OT last night. So we'll see what happens. And they recently accepted an invitation to join the Big 12 in the fall this past they announced this past Friday. So we'll see if BYU can produce. Mike, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is shame on these Power Five schools. I am a firm believer. If you are a Power Five, and you paying. Okay, so the thing about BYU is they are independent, right? But to me,
Right.
they're one of those Group of Five independent schools, right? And I just don't believe that a Power Five should ever be in a dog race or in a dog fight or anything with a Group of Five type team. I mean, this is ridiculous, bro. Like, this is like one of the teams that we would end up seeing, like, beating on these Power Five teams, getting to the playoffs, and then get boat race. Like, I mean, these Power Five schools are just not holding up their standard. Shame on Baylor. You're in Texas. You have all of these athletes around, and you can't do nothing. I mean, it's BYU. Where is BYU? Think about where BYU is,
Brigham Young.
Brad. You're telling me they got better talent at BYU than Baylor? Come on, man.
Hey
I'm
man,
just. I mean, but shout out to BYU though, because they did their thing. They did their
hey
thing.
man, BYU. I watched that game. That game was on all night long. BYU played some defense. Those guys were playing some defense. They were missing a few of their starters on offense, so the game kind of lingered. But BYU is a great team. I could see them beating Oregon. By the way Oregon looked against Georgia, I would pick BYU to win that game. And
Oh yeah.
BYU, they got some playmakers. Some of them are young. In that Baylor game, it was extended so long. Guys were missing field goals back to back, and the game was just extended out way too long. But I mean, BYU played defense. That's the team my Arkansas Razorback has to play. So I was doing a little scouting. They can't really run the ball, so I'm pretty sure we'll plan for the pass. So it'll be something. But like I said, man, I think they'll beat Oregon.
Drizzy Dez says Oregon by 7. So
I
we'll
can't
see.
see it.
Right now, anything with Oregon is just selling me a dream. Man. I
Yeah,
gotta
I'm telling you,
see.
Oregon is. Whew.
He also said BYU won't survive in the Big 12. They need offense to compete. So
Well, they were missing like two starters like at wide receiver in
I
that
mean,
last game.
I don't think that to say that they won't survive, they just beat Baylor. Baylor
Right,
done beat up on other Big 12 schools. I mean, so
right.
I mean, obviously they're making some type of adjustment. And this is what like I have to say to the people. We are seeing Group of Five schools make and conform to the adjustment, even though that they're Group of Five, they are making the adjustment to be Power Five. Are they to that level of recruiting and stuff yet? No, that's why I believe that they still shouldn't be winning these games. But this is what I talk about when people are inside their conference or whatever and say, oh, well, we lose to this team. We can't win our conference because of these teams. It's adjust to your conference. Adjust to what you're playing in. You have to. That's on you and your program to adjust to what you are playing in. If these Group of Five schools can do it, I don't want to hear no excuses from other schools from any other conference.
Absolutely.
then we got Penn State versus Auburn. This upcoming Saturday at 2:30, kickoff on CBS. Both teams coming to this game undefeated. Penn State QB Sean Clifford played his best game of his career last year against Auburn, 28-32 for 280 yards. Penn State has also scored 81 points in its first two games of the season. So we'll see. They have Penn State, taking the dub on this one.
Go ahead, Mike.
Penn State trenches is on the offensive line. I'm not sure. And then you're going to be going up against some beefy guys. I know what they did last year. But also, one thing that Sean Clifford isn't going to have, he's not going to have a whiteout. He's not going to have 100 plus people shouting for him. Where at Penn State they say that the stadium shakes so much you can feel the ground vibrating. You're not going to have any of that going your way, Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford has also shown me he is still turnover prone as well, not making good decisions. So, I mean, he's going to have to show me. I mean, does Penn State have the talent to, have a good game against Auburn? Yes. But do they have a James Franklin as well? Yes.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to say, Clifford, he's been kind of, game managing the game. He's kind of inconsistent managing the game, but those guys can run the ball. They had a running back who was averaging 17 yards a carry in their last game, even though they played Ohio or someone like that.
It was
but they got a running back. They got a running back who went for 180 yards on 10 carries or somewhere in there. So they got a running back that we should take serious, So I believe they can form their identity around running the ball. So,
well, the reason why I say that is they couldn't really do it against Purdue. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you're talking about evil level competition,
right.
like Power 5 versus Power 5, if you couldn't do it against Purdue,
right? That's what they played week 1.
Yeah, I mean,
so it was week 1, So
it's week 1, but that offensive man, I tell you this, bro. Penn State has had a stable. I remember them having like Noah Kane, Journey Brown, and another like top. They had like one of the best running back rooms, but they couldn't do nothing with it. The reason why Journey Brown was so great is because it didn't matter if the offensive line could block or not. Nobody could tackle him.
Right.
So, and Journey Brown, shout out to him, man, because he had to medically retire with the health condition. So.
And Auburn is going toe-to-toe in games right now with San Jose State. It's just
true.
Auburn's identity is all over the place right now. They don't really have a quarterback that's making a lot of plays. They don't have a running back that's doing a whole lot. So Drizzy Dead said it might be a defensive battle. Maybe that's true.
I agree with
Maybe that's true.
Definitely agree.
Yep, I agree. It's gonna be who makes less mistakes. That's who's gonna win.
Right.
And according to Drizzy Dez, Clifford is trash, so it looks like Auburn.
What else we got?
Okay. And then we got.
Because isn't Auburn undefeated?
Yeah, they're 2-0.
Why are there all of these 1-1 teams on here in the AP?
I guess they're weighing strength of opponent into the rankings. Of course, Texas loses a game and become ranked.
Take that team up north out because they've been playing nothing but Group of 5 cupcakes all night.
Cupcakes.
Long.
Hey,
take them completely out.
I think Michigan coming for y'all this year. So watch your mouth.
You said something?
We'll see, man.
Speaking of the teams up north, we got Michigan State taking on Washington this upcoming Saturday at 6:30 on ABC. Both teams, they go into this game undefeated, and then it looks like it's about
2-0.
They both.
How is Washington now ranked? Bruh.
Hey, but Texas ranked. I'm just keep throwing that in there.
That's what I'm saying, man. Come on, man. I don't understand this, man. I don't understand. This is why I say the AP poll is not a good judge. Like, screw it, bruh. Everybody's unranked at this point.
Let some people enjoy their moment in the rankings,
I agree. Some people have not been here in a very, very, very long time.
Hey, look. Watch it. Watch it.
Hey man, welcome. Welcome, man. Y'all can sit on this couch, this undefeated couch, man. Welcome, man.
Hey, number 10 in the country. Go Hogs.
I know. Woo pig. Look, Tennessee, we just gonna shh. We just gonna be hush hush in the bottom.
It's like what was that? 2012? when that was like when I first like moved like Arkansas. They was in like the AP all the time in like
Yeah,
top 10. When I first
that
moved to
was
Arkansas, like
2010 to
in
2013. That's
2012.
Bobby Petrino era. We were number 3 in the country in 2011.
Never forget Bobby.
Yeah.
That motorcycle mess you up every time, boy.
Hey man, he's still a legend in my eyes.
He definitely is.
We play
Definitely
Bobby.
is.
We play Bobby this week at Missouri State. I think he's the coach out there.
Yeah, they say it was a motorcycle, but only one person got hurt on the motorcycle.
We won't speak on that. That messed our season up, dude. That messed our chances up. I don't even like to talk about it.
Bro, I don't understand how you get in a motorcycle accident. It's supposed to be 2 people on there, but only one person got hurt.
Yeah. Who knows what really
That's crazy.
happened? I've heard the stories. I've heard every angle of the story. I've heard it.
They say
So,
Bobby got no fight in him. No, sir.
Nope. Drizzy Dad
Hey.
said that chick messed up Bobby's career. Look, ruined it.
Hey, young women do it to you, man. The young ones do it to you.
I hear Razorback fans gonna be at the stadium with neck braces on at the game this coming week.
I don't find this funny.
Not too much, Mike. Not too much.
I want to talk about Michigan State. I want to talk about Michigan State because you guys have to face Michigan State.
Would you not do it though if you was at the game? Like, would you not
No.
wear neck brace?
No, because that year hurt me, and I was spending all my time in Fayetteville during those years, and to see us go down like that, man, in a year that was supposed to be so great, I don't like to talk about it.
But it's not
It could have
trolling
been
Arkansas. It's trolling Bobby though. Like it ain't trolling Arkansas. it's trolling
Bobby. He's a great coach. He's one of the best offensive minds I've seen, in college football. He's done some great things. I don't like to troll him. He's a great offensive mind.
Man, y'all could have had Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he went and put on a show out there at Louisville. But Lamar was a 3-star, and Bob Petrino did it with him. So
that's what I'm saying. Imagine if he had came to Arkansas.
Right. But about Michigan State, man, you guys have to play them. Michigan State, man, they're not doing anything fancy. They haven't played anyone tough. But I know they have 3 running backs.
It's week 2.
They have 2 running backs. They got 2 running backs that are getting over 15 carries a game. So Ohio State has got to prove they can stop the run. They got to prove they actually have a defense when they play those guys. So you need to be preparing for that. They got Michigan State ranked number 11. So focus up, Mike. Focus up on what you need to focus on. We're not going to talk about our past.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's focus on Michigan State, right? What I'm seeing from Michigan State is they're the same team with the same identity as they had last year, right? Where the bread and butter of them is the running game, right? So
Absolutely.
That's what they did, right? We ain't going to go into what happened when they trying to do the running game and getting blown out against my team when we didn't have a defense. But that's a story later down the road that we will discuss. But against Washington, what's his name? Peyton Thorne
Thorne.
I'm thinking Thorne for Michigan State.
Yeah.
He already has 3 interceptions going against Cupcakes.
True.
Now, the one thing that I do say that maybe Michigan State might have the advantage of is they have film on Michael Penix because Michael Penix was at Indiana before transferring to Washington. So they've played him. They've beat him as well, so they know his tendencies, things like that. But Michael Penix has also looked good, only had like 6 touchdowns with 1 interception on this season. I believe that this is going to come down to a defensive game because one thing that we do know is you're not going to count on Michigan State to be passing the ball. I think that one thing that they're going to have to look out is Michael Penix can make some throws, but sometimes he gets a little bit of happy feet. But he's also good with his legs sometimes. But, man, this game could go so many ways, especially with Michael Penix out there because I've seen it go so many ways. Michael Penix is hot. It's going to be a long day for Michigan State, man.
Drizzy Dad says stop the run. They are finished.
I mean, that's what happened to them last year. They got blown out because when they had to try – when the game started to escape them and they couldn't really rely on the run and they had to pass, they couldn't do anything, so they got blown out. and that's why you have to have a balanced attack. That's one thing. You bring up Ohio State, but that's one thing that we didn't really have last year was a balanced attack, and that's what we've been working on. So everybody's like, "Oh, you're not blowing out these teams." Well, in these couple of weeks, you work on things. There's things that you need to work on. There's things that you need to build an identity on, and building an identity in the trenches in the running game and being a balanced attack is one thing that they are working on. So,
All right.
Yep. We'll
what else
see
we
All
who
right.
got,
comes.
Diz?
We got one more game for this week 3 preview. We got 13 Miami taking on Texas A&M. And by the looks of it, I mean, it looks like Texas A&M is struggling this season, or so is Miami a little bit. I kind of had high hopes for Miami, so I think this will be a pretty good matchup for sure.
Hey, it's the most exciting game of the week for me because it proves to us if Miami is actually a good team because they're playing high caliber athletes, and it also will prove to me if Texas A&M are they overrated, some sort of overrated, or are they kind of young right now? Are they still developing right now, or will they bounce back from a horrible loss last week? And well, this week, but next week it'll be last week. But
It's last week.
Texas, right? So Texas A&M, man, they got to redeem themselves, man. As an Arkansas fan, I can't wait to watch this game because we have those guys in 2 weeks, and I want to see was it a fluke for them to lose, or are they just struggling right now? Because if you ask me, they're struggling right now. And also, I want to see Miami, put their foot down, be for real. If they win this game, I think people will take them more serious. I think the Canes will be taken more serious with a win versus Texas A&M. Although I got Texas A&M winning that game.
We got a Kings fan commenting on the show.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What's going on, Grant? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Grant?
Hey,
Yo.
if you haven't, go follow NMD TV, NMD Canes, man. We did a breakdown preview show out here. But what I'm going to say about this is, and I'm going to tell you guys, my pick is Miami, and here's the reason why. I've been telling you guys, Texas A&M have not shown me that they have a quarterback, right? They have not been anything without a quarterback, period, right? They're still showing that. You lost to Appalachian State.
Ah.
Appalachian
Yikes.
State. An Appalachian State team that almost beat North Carolina, who don't even got a defense, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got a Tyler Van Dyke. Let me tell you, everybody can talk about, they weren't hitting on all cylinders. But let me tell you about the character of this young man and why. Ain't nobody go home that night. They went to the facility and put in that work.
Mm.
That is what's telling me that they're going to be hitting on all cylinders. And what people got to understand, you can do the 7-on-7 drills, all of that crap. You can do all of this and think you got your timing down. But there's a difference between having your timing down in practice versus having your timing down in a game when defenses are able to throw stuff and it's not 7-on-7 where they're limited. You're not really passing the rusher. Rushing the passer and things like that, right? So it's a different timing element. Give me Miami in this game because they got the quarterback as well. Appreciate it. But, until Texas A&M shows me something on offense, which they just haven't, why would I pick them? Why? Because they're in the SEC? That's the only reason to pick them. The only reason.
Yeah, and my thing is, I just imagine them guys having more physical athletes. I mean, when I briefly watched I watched Miami versus Southern Miss. They were giving them a go at first. They were playing pretty physical with those guys at first. And my thing is, Texas A&M have more physical athletes than Southern Miss. So from a physicality standpoint, I would have to say Texas A&M should win this game, but I would like to see Miami be for real
You
and win
think
that game.
Appalachian State wasn't as physical with Texas A&M?
I mean, they were. That was a great win for that program. Haynes King had a
And
horrible game.
I'm going to say this too, because you said this earlier on the show or whatever about Penn State. It's early. Maybe they can get their running game working in week 3.
Yeah.
So
I'm hearing you out.
So Miami, why can't they get theirs working in week 3?
And Miami hasn't really, and they haven't
bro.
struggled too much in the run game.
No, they
But
haven't.
they
I
and
mean,
I like Tyler Van Dyke. That guy's a great quarterback.
running game, I'm taking Miami. Passing game, I'm taking Miami. Wide receivers, I'm about to take Miami. Like,
What
I
about the
mean,
defense? What is looking like for Miami?
I mean, honestly, this is going to be honestly the true test that we will see. But
Absolutely.
one thing that we have seen, if your quarterback can't throw a pass, it can't complete a pass, it keeps going 3 and out, your chances of you winning that game is not high. I mean,
Hmm.
against Appalachian State, what was the score? 17-14?
Mm. Something crazy.
Yeah, they didn't even. You
Yeah,
didn't score
17 to
20.
14.
Yeah, you didn't score 20 points on a group of 5 school. Give me Miami
Okay.
all
I
day.
like that. I
The
like that.
house, the house, Miami.
All right.
Yes, yeah,
Even though Texas A&M is the favorite to win, we could by last week scores we can tell that they do get it wrong. So we'll definitely
yeah.
see with
I
Miami.
mean, Vegas said that Ryan Day's playbook was going to be putting up 40 and beating Arkansas State by 40. That wasn't our game plan. Our game plan was to run the ball and have 250 running, 250 passing, bro. Like, you don't know what these coaches are trying to do, and like we talked about this, how these coaches, especially when you're playing like inferior opponents like this, and you know that they're inferior opponents, you do things to help your team build an identity. So you might look weak in a certain area this week, right? But it's because you're working on something and you want to see if your players can fight through it. You know? Now, which teams can fight through it?
Let's go. I'm excited for another week.
Yep. Let's see week 3. What's going to happen? And before we get into our final segment, I just want to take some time. If you haven't, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are on every single one. And if you happen to miss parts of tonight's podcast, please make sure you check it out tomorrow on all streaming platforms. And let's get to the final segment. We got game balls this week. So we each pick a player for this week who we would give the game ball to, and let's start off with EG. You got one this week.
My game ball will have to go to Mr. Caleb Williams. He's just looked like he's in control of that offense. USC is humming. Their offense could be one of the best offenses in the country right now. And so far, it's looking like it. I just want to see them continue it. So my game ball will go to Caleb Williams and those 4 touchdowns against Stanford. No picks, by the way.
Hey, that's a really good one. So I, of course, repping Tennessee as I did over our win over Pitt. I would have to go with our wide receiver Tillman. He caught the winning touchdown in OT for 28 yards. He made up for 9 catches for 162 yards in the game, and he said for his comments, he said, "Big time players make big time moments." So and today I heard on ESPN, I'm not gonna say this too loud on SEC, but they said that Tillman could be one of the top wide receivers in college football right now. So
Let's
I'm just
go.
gonna keep it hush hush, but we got all hopes that Tennessee will rise and make it to the playoffs.
Mm.
And Mike, who you got?
Ooh, make it to the playoffs. Hey,
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 look,
hey,
this might
she
be the
putting
year, bro.
Georgia on notice. She putting Georgia on notice. I got
Might be the year.
I got the freshman, number 27 from
Mm.
BYU, Chase Roberts, man. He had 8 receptions with 122 yards, 1 touchdown, man. And just what he was able to do, like I said, against a Power 5 as a freshman, it's crazy, man. The talent that Baylor is supposed to have, the talent that Texas is supposed to have, this guy's like, hey, you guys wrote me off. Nobody was recruiting me. Nobody really wanted me. I'm here at BYU, and then I showed out on you. Boom. He led the team in receptions, and I expect more big things from this guy. What's their next game? I mean, honestly, I want to see if somebody from Arkansas can shut the young man down.
Hey, he got to come to play, man.
He
I
got
like what
to,
he did,
yeah,
and it's an odd guy to wear number 27 at wide receiver. He's
yeah,
very noticeable out there. So
yeah.
I want to see it.
Yep. So we got some big matches coming up this week for college football. But if you happen to miss parts of tonight's show, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. That way you can catch up on anything that could be going on, any breaking news is possible. And again, like I said, tomorrow morning you can catch us on all podcast platforms for the playback. With that, do you guys have anything else?
Follow the fans, Edge, baby. Let's go.
Yes.
Right. Make sure you
Like,
following
subscribe.
us. Yep.
Yes, sir. All right. And then with that, we are out.